Hello, my name is Spencer Skis. I'm a math teacher at Desert Oasis High School, and this is a video on Canvas Studio. Currently, we're looking at the dashboard, right? Let's go ahead and click on Studio over here on the left. Before we get started on the how do I use Canvas Studio, let's get started on why would you use Canvas Studio. Canvas Studio gives you lots of ability to look at the insights of your video, get some analytics, if you will, okay? So let's take a look at some of my videos that already exist. Let's take a look at this one right here. If I click on this and go ahead and choose the class that it was assigned to, I can see some insights, as Canvas calls it, as Studio calls it. You can see how there was consistently about 50 some views throughout the duration of the video. That's great. That's fantastic. Slow and steady, right? They actively watched the whole thing. And I can see which students did watch the video. These type of analytics you're not going to get anywhere else. Just sharing a YouTube video is not going to get you these analytics. You can hope that they watch it, but here you know that they did watch it. Not only can you understand how much of they've watched it and the fact that they watched the whole thing, but you can also attach a quiz to the video and you can ask them questions about the video to engage them, right? Well, I can look at the results of that quiz. Here you can see what are the results and what question, which wrong answer did they often choose, all those types of things. So not only is it a video that students are learning from, it's a video that students are engaging with, and you can assess them and see what it is that they learned, did not learn. And that is why you really want to use Canvas Studio. There are some other applications out there in the world that do something similar, but they're not free. Canvas Studio built into Canvas, you might as well use it. So let's go back to the main Studio page. How do we use Canvas Studio? Well, some people record videos directly into Studio, and that's great. And I think the recording features of Canvas Studio deserves its own video, and that's not what I'm going to touch on. I'm going to touch on videos that you have already filmed or videos that you've already found on the internet that are pre-existing. Okay, how do we add those into Canvas Studio? Because there's some YouTube videos that you probably want your students to watch, but you'd love to know that they watched it and to quiz them on it. So if we hit the add button here, we can paste any YouTube link our heart desires, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and copy this random scientific notation video link and add it here. And boom, there it is. This video is now in Canvas Studio and you can start to get some analytics from it. We haven't added a quiz yet. But you might not want to add a quiz, but you still want to know that they watched it. You're done. You have finished. You have uploaded a video to Canvas Studio and you can start to get those analytics. How do you share them? How do you share them this video though? Well, let's go to a random course. I'm going to go into a workroom so I don't have to screw around with my courses. If you want to add it to a module, right? Maybe there's a module titled videos or something like that. You click the plus button. You scroll down to External Tool, and you find Canvas Studio. And then it loads for a half second here, and you click on that video that you just uploaded, Embed, Add Item, and there it is. And when you click on it, it will take you into Canvas Studio. And you can turn off the comments, by the way. You don't have to have those on. But you can start to get all these analytics here. I'm on the teacher end, so I can see the analytics. They wouldn't be able to see that, right? But boom, they are watching this video via Canvas Studio, and you can start to actively monitor who's watching, how long they watched, etc., etc. But like I said, one of the main things that you can do is add a quiz, and I think that right there really forces engagement, because how easy is it to just press play and forget about it as a student, right? But if you put a question in there, you're really forcing engagement. So let's go back to Studio and let's continue on with this video that I have created. If I go to three dots and click Create Quiz, I can now start to add questions to this quiz. You got to give it a title, of course, give it a description, and then here's a couple of notes here. You can allow annotations on the timeline if you add in any annotations. We haven't done that. And I like to turn this on, hide question markers. I don't want students to know when the question's coming up. I kind of want them to be, I want them to be on edge, sort of like, oh, is there going to be a question about this? So that way they're actively engaged. So I click get started. I'm going to go ahead and mute this so it doesn't play. Now you want to add questions. Now, have you already written the time? Did you already watch this and write the timestamps down from where you want the questions to be? Great. Go ahead and fast forward to that 2 minute and 6 second mark where you really wanted to ask the question, what, or did he do that the correct way, or something like that, true or false, right? You knew you wanted that to be there. Or personally, what I like to do is my videos aren't that long that I've created. I just press play. I just sorry about that. I just press play and I change it to 2 times speed. And I just listen to myself and I'm like, okay, it's coming up, it's coming up, it's coming up, and right there, that's where I wanted to add the question, right? I don't remember, like, as I filmed it, I could have written a note down, but it's easy enough for me to watch myself back and then add it in at the exact moment that I want it to be there. And boom, I add another question. How about multiple choice this time? Right? And then when you're done, well, in the top right up here, it says done. Boom. You have created quiz. Now, technically speaking, you can add another quiz onto here. A quiz already exists. We can add another quiz and another quiz. I'm not really sure why you do that, but you could if you wanted to. If you wanted to ask maybe more difficult questions a second time around on the same video, I'm not sure. You can do whatever you'd like. Now, we're done here in this Canvas Studio portion. We have uploaded a video. We have added a quiz. And I already showed you how you could view analytics, right? So you can look at the quiz results, right? You can look at the quiz results here as well. But how do you get them the quiz? How do you assign the quiz? Here's what I like to do. You go to your course. So let's go ahead and back to that workroom. You go to your course, you go to assignments, and you create a new assignment. Because you want this to be an assignment that goes into the gradebook. Okay, so you gotta go through the motions of how you create any other assignment, right? We gotta do what we always do. Here's the title, here's some directions, and however many points you want this video to be worth, formative or whatever like that. But here's what makes it a video. You click external tool, find. Feels familiar, right? How we uploaded it to the module. Search for Canvas Studio here, and you find the video. There's an important step coming up. When you click it, you want to click Video Quiz Embed, and you want to make sure, number one, you're choosing the right quiz, and that a quiz is selected in the first place. I've had an issue, I'm just giving you the red flag, that if you don't do this, you're just uploading a video with no questions. You want to make sure that the correct title is being chosen, the correct quiz. And you embed, select, done. Okay, so now because we've done this external tool, we have now added the quiz. You can do a due date, stuff like that, standard assignment editing. And we hit save. So now, it says we are preparing the quiz, check back. If I click get started now, it's not just a video, it's a quiz, okay? And it's got to load that quiz for a half a second. And, where was it? About 2 minutes and 6 seconds in, right? Let's watch it happen. And boom, that question pops up. That's the experience that the student will have. That question is going to pop up just like that, and they will answer. And I love this feature, right, where it says, hey, I want to rewatch what just happened beforehand before I answer that question. That's really great for the student. And so that will show up in the gradebook. This is a workroom, so it doesn't matter that I click grades here. It will show up as one of your assignments here, okay? It's going to take me too long to find right this second, but that will show up. And you can see that's a great, to me, I love using the gradebook. I love the quiz submission to see that kids did it, right? Like I don't have to click in and find their name in the list. It's just if I have a quiz there, it sort of expedites the who did it process. If they have a quiz score, they watch the video. If they don't have a quiz score, they didn't watch the video. Pretty straightforward there. But if you really want to dive in on the analytics, that's where you would go back to Studio, click on the video, and dive into those insights here, okay? And you can already see that there's a couple of insights for me right here, me watching it. And with that, folks, that's Canvas Studio. You can add any type of video you'd like. You can add questions anywhere you'd like, and you can assign it to any class you'd like. A very interactive, engaging experience. I hope you learned something about Canvas Studio, and I hope you make your YouTube videos that much more exciting and interactive. My name's Spencer, and my email is skeess@nv.ccsd.net. If you'd like to shoot me any particular questions. Enjoy the rest of your day whenever it is that you're watching this. And bye-bye. Thank you for watching.